フルカウンター
Alright lads, it is tier list time. The game's been out for about 2 weeks now, so now we have a kind of understanding of what each character does, what they're actually used for, and what content is actually in the game, and how we're going to be ranking them. Now obviously, I have not used every single character, because as you can see, I am a little bit of a free-to-play scum. So you can see I've not gone everyone, nor have I used everyone, because resources are very limited, but you know, I don't have to get the character to tell you Yami's good. Alright, I think we start with D tier. We're going to quickly run through it, and honestly, it's all the rare characters. I don't see any of them being good, mainly because rare characters don't actually have like double passives or passives. You'll see in a second. When you take a character to 2-star plus or even 5-star plus, which I'm covering right now, but you can see the top one here, you get a new passive you get for simply just getting the character fully maxed out, right? And rare characters do not have that, so they're losing a lot of stats. Not only do they have really bad stats in comparison to other characters, but you also have like kind of worse skills of characters already in the game. So unless something comes out where, like, you know, Seke is just an absolute god character, then you know, then we'll rank them up. But as it is right now, no, they're all staying at the bottom tier. Alright, so for C tier, it's going to be full of SRs, of course, and some of them I can see going up, like Magna can stun if there's a burn effect, and we'll get on obviously Fana, we're getting Leon for Golan, who can constantly apply burns, so maybe he might move up, but I just don't see you using a slot on him when you rather use someone else. But there may be a time where you want to use these characters, plus there are some bosses out right now that might be beneficial in the future, but as it is, these characters, they're just better versions. Teresa I can see moving up to B tier, because she can guarantee burn onto every single character on a tier 2 skill, which once again could be good for Fagolion, but I've not really tested our usage yet, and you know, Fagolion can do that anyway, but a 50% chance, so yeah, I just don't really see her. Let me check her passive quickly. Hang on. I mean, yeah, her skills aren't great. I mean, a single target heal ain't that good in Black Clover Mobile right now. The AoE skill is actually pretty decent, to be fair. And then, like, heal on the ultimate, but if you combine it, you can get a burn effect on your single target. You can make the command attack do AoE damage, but you do have to actually use Ghost in your team, which, yeah, not the greatest. Alright, BT, we have Leo, Charlotte, and also Nozel on the SSR rarities. I believe Nozel is just really bad. Maybe I'm sleeping on him, right? I haven't used him, but I've not really heard good things. I've not seen no one use him, so I could be wrong definitely here about this one. I'll probably put like this order here. And then Leo, I've actually haven't used him just yet, but he's kind of like a almost a worse version of Fauna now, and you have to have obviously Fagolion, and the fact you have to bring 2 characters to make these 2 work is gonna limit him a little bit. So I'm not too sure how I feel about Leo. Definitely gonna work on him, gonna build him up a little bit and try to do the triple burn synergy with him, Leo, and Fauna, because I do have all 3 of them, so I'll let you know how that goes, but I don't see him being that great. Charlotte is a bit tricky. She has decent, she kind of got a worse burn in a way. Her mark skills can be okay, and then you kind of got to time it properly to where she can get the kill, and if she does, then she gets another turn, but I think it's going to be a bit inconsistent. And all the characters' passives rolled around the mark target, you know, lower their defense or increase damage, basically. Where, you know, if you don't get the mark off, then it's kind of done, right? And she's the only character in the game at the moment that can apply mark, where if you look at Fagolion, for example, he wants to get burn on, but he has other ways to apply burn. Teresa, you know, Fana, Leo, for example. There's more characters that can apply the burn or even damage over time effects. So obviously work with Jack, for example, where she's the only one who can do it, and it's every 3 turns too. So there is one turn where no one's gonna have mark on, because it only lasts 2 turns, extra extended with obviously Lotus. So yeah, a very tricky character to use, and once again she has to get the kill right to get the other turn. Noelle is a pretty decent one. I think she's got a nice little shield, little buff skill as well. It's a lot better than what the other SRs can do. Ghost, a little bit of a DPS character. I think I've seen people use him during the raid boss, the new Golem raid boss, and he attacks twice a lot of turns. So once again, he has an actual use in the game. Astana, once again, a pretty good tank character. Surprised me a little bit, actually, I'm not gonna lie. And then Vetos as well, same as Ghost. He's being used in the Golem event because he gives actual stamina, or I think actual like speed or stamina increase, so you attack more often, and so where the boss doesn't buff up as much, basically. And Vanessa as well, I think I need to look more into it and try her out. From her skills, she actually don't look that bad. She's always buffing up. She's kind of like a worse version of obviously Finral, but he kind of did the same thing. Every single skill they use, they're always buffing up the character, and it's what you want to see from an SR character. It's just yeah, I definitely have to try her out, but I don't think she's as good as Finral, of course, right? But looks like a pretty decent SR, and from I've heard only good things about her in a way. Alright, A tier, these are all generally insane characters. It's just they're not going to be used in every single content, but honestly, really, really good. So, Radius is just, from what I've seen and heard, insanely broken on defense, his shield, and just use him in the Golem Raid boss is going to be insane. I just don't think you're going to use him in PvE farming, for example, but the character is really, really good, and one character you definitely get. Singles, for real, a pretty decent character for farming. I think he's got 2 AoE skills, but his main use comes in defense team for PvP, where his actual AoE skill can stun. So, if you get that stun off, and trust me, it happens more than not. I mean, a 40% chance to apply a stun. I mean, if you stun an enemy team, you could possibly win the game because of it. So, for defensive teams, he might be pretty decent. Fauna is one of the newest characters. I think she's actually pretty decent. She's got 2 AoE skills, good for farming, good single target damage as well that can apply burn. Works really well for Goleon. So, once again, like her and for Goleon together are going to be pretty insane. Cannot wait to use them probably in a few days' time once I build up the team more. Jack as well is insane DPS. Soros kind of showcased a lot of him and kind of bigged them up a little bit as well. So maybe put him at the top of the tier list here. But for like the new Golem Raid boss, he's like probably the best DPS for it, I believe. It's just insane damage, single target skills as well. Like, I really want to get him, but I just can't. Licked, honestly, from what we've seen, he's actually a pretty good single target damage. I think the only bad thing people are saying about the character is that his ultimate is just an AoE. Like, it would have been a bit better if he'd full single target damage to nuke everyone. But being that there's not that many good single target green characters, but also as well there are a lot of blue characters in PvP, he's actually pretty decent. I think we have to wait for the Golem event to return because he might be the go-to person for that, obviously, phase 1. But since he has got 2 single target skills, farming with him is basically redundant. So, if anything, you're only going to use him for PvP, but even then I don't think he's even the best character for PvP. Sally, honestly, is kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie to you lot. I think she's not like insanely broken, right? But if you look at her skills here, her first skill's gonna keep her alive, fair enough, whatever. But the second skill though is insane. Every 2 turns, you can increase the magic attack by level 4, so 84%. You're also increasing the crit rate, and you're also extending the buff. So if you bring someone like Jack, for example, who can get, you know, buffs every few turns, just extending it and just buffing up the character. It's yeah, kind of insane what the skill can do, and I want to see more of that, man. I love like just buffing up characters and making do some insane damage. Plus as well, the ultimate as well, it's gonna give everyone extra attack, crit damage as well, and then the character's passive as well, it's just constantly buffing up to and just giving you more HP as well. It's not gonna lie, a good character. And then Mimosa, honestly, she may be down here, I'm not too sure, but healing's not that great in the game no more because they just increase the damage cap of everything by like 10 times, 100 times now. So if you're going to be doing farming or any sort of like, you know, super high end stage, you probably cannot out heal a lot of damage, even in gear P or just PvP basically. So the heal ain't too great. The revive is pretty good though, but Asta running around, she kind of gets targeted straight away because the bot realizes it's red and green. So, and she's pretty decent, not the greatest, but if you're just using the early stages like what I've been doing, she does help me clear through a lot of stages that I would have basically died in because the heal was still not that bad. The res is kind of insane as well. She can actually res on the ultimate if someone does die too. So overall, a pretty decent character, but I can definitely see her falling down a little bit. But yeah, not the best, but not the greatest. But I think it might be debatable whether she's A or B, but I think right now, for what I've used her in, she's actually still pretty decent. Alright, so this one might be a bit debatable. We'll start with the bottom one here, and that is SR Uno. Now, don't get me wrong, SR Uno is probably right here, right? Because Jack is definitely better, Licked is definitely better. It's just, from my experience of using the character as a free-to-play in the game, he's just carrying me through so much content. Green, which is quite good in PvP with obviously a lot of blues running around, it's just, he's kind of insane for PvE farming. And like, see, if you are free-to-play like myself, for example, he's going to be the only character and a character you're probably going to use a lot in the content of the game, because that's the only character you can get for free, maximum for free as well. Like, mine's like 4-star now basically. He's just such a good character. So I think for the start of the game, he might be the go-to for many people, which is because if you're limited on characters, you're free to play, you've been shafted, like for example, he's just such a good character. So I'm gonna put him in S tier. Definitely gonna move him down later on, but I think for the start of the game and from where we are right now, you just use him in anything basically, if you do not have all the characters basically. And if you have every character, you're definitely gonna move him down, but I think it's just such a good character, so we're gonna leave him there for now. Finroy as well, I mean, he's an SR character, makes every character better, gives you stamina, gives you attack crit rate as well. It's just such a good character. So yeah, I mean, I know it's a massive difference when I started using him with other characters, so yeah, definitely must have. Okay, so for Goleon, honestly, he got a crazy buff. I believe he was this good in the beta, but I've only used a little bit of him in my PvE farm and just PvE content. I've not fully maxed him out yet, but he looks pretty insane. Probably by far the best green in the game, and definitely the best green single target, which is kind of what you want for PvP, right? But like, this skill effect here just Unlike the other characters, he's always dealing extra damage if there is a, obviously, dot effect, so not even burn. So he's not even limited to burn. You can use him in other different situations like Jack or Bleed. So him and Yami, for example, is actually insane together. Just insane damage you can do in the single target skill. Obviously, the ultimate is going to apply burn, and with the fact that we're getting more burn characters in the game, like obviously Leo, Fauna, for example, is kind of pushing them up a little bit too. The ultimate is going to guarantee apply burn, and also as well just apply more damage if that one character is taking damage from damage over time effects, so bleed, poison, burn, which you can do with Fauna, for example. So overall, it's just a pretty good setup as well. He's doing more damage towards burn targets too. His skill 2 applies 1 guaranteed burn, so at least he's always going to get this off, but has a 50% chance to apply burn onto everyone. I mean, his kit's insane. I mean, for a green single target right now, or I think even just a green character, we have to put him in the S tier because he's by far the best green character, I think, in the game. Lotus, I genuinely hate him. Can I say that? I don't know why they made him so good for such a irrelevant character in the series. Like, this could have been Dorothy, this could have been SSR Noel, it could have been any of the Black Bulls, but they decided to make this guy just insane. So I mean, I don't have to go through all his skills. His first skill has a chance to increase stamina. He can also extend debuffs and reduce damage resistance as well. It's just, everything about the kit is just insane. His ultimate is by far the best thing as well. Has a 50% chance to remove all buffs, which is good for like the Noel event, for example. Has 50% chance to reduce their speed, so you can attack more often. You also, the biggest thing is apply guarantee level 3 incapacitate, which is going to actually reduce damage taken by 50%, and it's for 2 turns. And you can extend this as well. It's just like such an insane character. Very, very glad I got him. And if you do get the character 2/6, you're going to apply also damage reduction too, which is just even more better, right? Like, generally, Lotus is insane. And when we do come to global and even on Jape or my career account, I'm definitely rerolling this guy. AoE in a tier 1 skill as well. Like, this guy is just insane. He's just top tier character for any content, basically. William is by far one of the best blue characters, maybe the best support in the game. His first skill has a 4% chance to apply a stun, or basically a tree transformation, so they lose their turn. And I've had boss fights where we get that like 3 times in a row, and obviously with Lotus lowering the stamina and just obviously extend the debuffs as well. Obviously you can't extend the tree debuff, but it's just insane what these two can do together. They've carried me through so much content. His buff skill increases attack, increases speed, and also his stamina by a fixed amount, so you can possibly attack first if you use it at the right time. It's once again another insane ability. His actual ultimate is insane as well. You're gonna apply counter attack, which means they actually reflect damage and counter their skill 1 skill, so you use that against Lotus or Yami, for example. It's just insane, and that's guaranteed too. You also apply Fortify, which reduces damage taken, and his also passive is pretty good as well. I mean, like, the character just does so much, bro. It's insane. Alright, so next character is Clover Academy Asta. He is just insane DPS. So the bigger thing about Asta that I need to stress, and you've probably seen if you play through PvP, right, is the extra turn. So if he attacks the enemy with his ultimate and they're above 80% HP, then he's going to get extra turn, and that's guaranteed, right? So he used that onto a green character, let's say Licht, for example, and then boom, he just kind of almost one-shots him, right? Which is probably explains why Licht actually has the immortality, because he kind of needs it for PvP. But yeah, he gets an extra turn, increases damage against boss fight, which, is not really relevant toward PvP, but really good in obviously PvE content, just deal more damage and be an absolute boss killer. And his actual second skill, which he uses right after it because he got a free turn, he's then going to get more attack towards himself. His passive is also applying attack every single turn, which he gets 3 turns as well. And start of waves, they're going to get more attack as well, which only applies towards himself and only PvE content. And also has more chance to get stamina, more damage increase, exposed attack at 5 times. I mean, there's so much about the character just buffing up and just getting 3 insane turns. So yeah, that's kind of why Ash is in the god tier. Mars, by far the best tank in the game, and the biggest thing about him is that his actual combined attack actually has a chance to stun the whole team. That's kind of the biggest thing about him. Not only is he obviously taunting characters, he's giving himself Fortify, so he reduces damage taken. He's extending debuffs, so basically Lotus, single target skill, but an AoE ultimate as well. Very, very good if you use him, if you use it after Lotus, for example. He also, the biggest thing, like I said already, has a chance to stun obviously an enemy, but if you combine attack, so where the big thing comes into. Basically the same as Real, but on a less, because this requires 6 actual stamina rather than actually 8, so you can get it more often, basically. And yeah, 40% chance to stun the whole team is just, like I said, like Real, it's insane. But this guy's a bit more tankier and just a bit more insane. All right, both Yummies, I mean, they're both generally insane, but I do think the red one's probably a bit better for what I need and I think for what's more relevant in obviously Black Clover Mobile. And that is his one insane damage, but also his actual skill one is an AoE skill. And there aren't that many, like, once again, Lotus is really, really good because he has got a good AoE skill on his skill one, but this one's just more insane damage as well. Plus, it can apply bleed, so it works obviously well with Fagolion. His actual second skill can stun if there is a bleed on someone. Also, this will get more damage reduction upon applying bosses. Single target skill is going to get more crit chance, so his AoEs do more damage. If you do get him to 2-star awakening, he is going to get crit damage, which is obviously massive because he does crit like crazy, especially during like Finral, for example, or any other character that can increase crit chance. Yami is just insane. And so is the blue Yami. So his first skill is going to apply, obviously, attack increase if he does have more than 4 SP gauges, which is his ultimate, which you always start with, obviously, 8, but then you might use it because you probably want to use it, but maybe at a certain time. But the biggest thing is the AoE effect, basically. He stops all healing from all the actual team. So if they are bringing Mimosa, just using this when they're about to heal or use the ultimate is obviously massive. You're also going to apply the actual special point towards yourself so you can get the actual skill 1 to proc more easier. The ultimate is where the character kind of shines a little bit, and that is total silence for 2 turns. If he uses the ultimate onto someone, he is going to stop their tier 2 skill and also stop the ultimate for 2 turns, and then also reduce the actual ultimate gauge, right? So like if you want to use this onto William to stop it from working, but he has more speed, so you might attack first. But if you know someone's about to ult, you know someone's about to use their tier 2 skill to clutch the team up a little bit, then you know, this is massive. I mean, you can use it on Mars, for example, so Mars can't actually use his actual tier 2 skill. It's just so much better. But yeah, boys, that is the tier list. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Where would you rate these characters? Do you agree with my tier list? But do let me know if I am sleeping on anyone, because obviously I cannot use every character, neither can everyone else. But if you leveled up Soul, for example, let me know why she is good and what she can be used in. So boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.